eat your ego for breakfast on my ceiling. Because that's actually a really great piece of advice, and it's a great way to start your day. Eat your ego. It is not about you. Okay? Know when to teach, know when to lead, and know when to learn, guys. Because there's definitely going to be times in your business for all three. But you want to know what the hardest one is? When you have to drop your pride and learn. Leading and teaching is fun because you get to be the expert. But when you have to drop your pride and go back to learning again, that's where humility sets in, and it's not comfortable. But whoever said that success means living in your comfort zone? Nobody. It's all about living uncomfortable and continuing to stretch and grow and reach towards your goals. I told somebody last night, I said, if you want to go to the top of this company, get ready, it's painful. It's painful, but it's worth it. It's so worth it. Apologize. That goes under ego. Even if you don't know what you're apologizing for. I'm serious, guys. There are things that happen in my business where I've offended someone, and it's probably not even because I was offensive, but because they're just extremely overly touchy. Okay? Majority of the people in this business are women. Women are extremely emotional, and a majority of them are really touchy. Let's just be real. Okay? All right, so let me just go ahead and shake your hand. It takes a real man to do this business. It takes a real man. Here's the thing. I'm a little unique. I am a woman, but I am a man stuck in a woman's body. This works for me and against me in this business. I'm very like-minded with a lot of men in business. I jive well with them, I always have. I had to come into this business and learn how to communicate differently and be sensitive to the emotional side of this business and how to relate to people. And I've had to apologize to a lot of people. Not a lot over the last year and a half, but a lot to me. And not have a clue what I was apologizing for. But it made it better. And it required swallowing my ego and not worrying about being right, but worrying about doing right. Don't be right, do right. Okay? Be honest with yourself about what's not working in your business. I already said that. Is it you? Probably. Probably, you guys. It says right here, let's see, I already said that. Limitations. So, really, when it comes to your ego, generally speaking, it limits you, right? And I told someone last night in a little visit, anytime you have limitations in your business, generally speaking, that comes from within. And so you have to be willing to look there first when you're having difficulties in your business. Okay? You cannot lead effectively by being filled with ego. If you have a huge ego issue, interestingly enough, you probably have an insecurity issue too. Isn't that weird? People that pound their chest generally don't have a whole lot of self-confidence. It's a mask. I think that's fascinating. If you're secure, you'll have no problem apologizing. No problem. Okay? The next one is the letter R for relationships. This is a people business. It is a relationship business. You have to have boundaries, right? You can't be BFFs with everybody on your team. It's not appropriate because it is a business, remember? But you have to find that balance where you can continue to invest in them and love on them, but still be able to take that friend hat off and put your CEO hat on and have the hard conversations. Because if you get to be too close, it makes those conversations really awkward and not very well received. And it can really hurt your friendship. So when it comes to relationships, it's important to connect with your team emotionally and love on them. Nita Irwin always says you should know the carpet color, the name of their kids, and the name of their pets. Now, I'm not saying I know that, all that stuff, the people on my team, but I try. I do try. It's important to be a good listener. That's a good way to help build relationships. If you're not sure, start there. And you want to know a good test on whether or not you're a good listener? If you're talking to somebody and you're already thinking about what your response is before they're done talking, you are not a good listener. I would challenge you today I don't know how much time we have left today. I would challenge you while you're with all of these people to try to exercise that today and see if you can keep your mind totally focused on what that person's saying until they're done, and then come up with a response. I wonder if it will change how you feel too. You might have a better conversation. You might get more out of it, okay? Coach your team by staying neutral. This is a good way to help with the relationships in your business staying healthy. Coach your team by staying neutral on certain issues, identifying with their struggles instead of constantly coaching them out of it. You know, one of the things that I hate the most about some of the situations I've had with friends along the way with all the hardships and stuff, I've been really sad. I've had some things happen in my life that, you know, made me cry and I needed to vent and all that. I hated it when my friends tried to talk me out of being sad. And they didn't let me be sad. Didn't let me cry about it. They wanted to like jerk me out of it, be like, let's go get ice cream and it'll be okay. It's like, no, just let me be sad. I need to get through that. So sometimes when you have people call you and they're like, oh, I have no activity and I'm just feeling really down and I just feel like I can't do this business. Instead of giving them a big, huge, giant hype speech, be like, girl, I totally know. I've been there. Man, I remember this one time in my business. Give them a story about how you know exactly how they feel. Their guard will go down. They will listen to you because they won't feel alone. And then all of a sudden, you're going to say, but you know what I did to overcome it and it really worked for me? This is what I did. And by doing it that way, you're coaching them from underneath and they're listening. But if you just come at them like, well, this is what you need to do, they're going to feel defensive. They're going to feel embarrassed. They're going to feel basically bossed around. Okay? So creating relationships in your business where people really hear you and trust you and don't feel like, you know, you're bombarding them with coaching. Use personal experience to inspire people to change. I always love this saying, no one cares what you know until they know how much you care. Isn't that true? Nobody cares. You can be an executive national vice president in Arbonne, and if you don't care about people, I don't want to talk to you. I just don't. But I do want to talk to this district manager here who just promoted out of district. And she's got one of the biggest hearts I've ever seen. I want to talk to her. I want to ask her how she did it in 1 month. I could learn something from her because it's not about titles, right? It's not about titles. So if your only goal is to be liked, I will say this. If your only goal is to be liked in this business, it's going to be difficult to lead people. So I will tell you that. I don't want you to think that I'm saying just go be nice to everyone and make sure everybody likes you and make sure everybody's happy. I didn't say that. Find a way to communicate to people in a way that they need you to communicate, that works for them. That takes a long time. But don't have your ultimate goal necessarily be to always be liked. Because sometimes you have to have the hard conversations and be honest with people. And it might tick them off, and they might walk away for a month or two, or they might stop calling you and call your upline because they just can't work with you. Hey guys, I have people in my business that don't want coaching from me. I find that odd. Do you? Okay, thank you. But it's not about me. It's about that person, and they have something they're going through, and they have an ego issue, and they're going to need some time. I can give that to them. I can also give them forgiveness in the meantime and move on and go find my next girl. Because this isn't a sorority, it's a business. Stop taking it so personally. Okay? The next letter is the letter S. That's for sacrifice. You guys, the smallest action of purpose is bigger than your largest intention. I'm going to say it again. I'll say it twice. Smallest action of purpose is bigger than your largest intention. The smallest action of purpose is bigger than your largest intention. You might have really great intentions, but you might also be a bull in a china shop doing it that way. What if you stopped focusing on what your intentions are and put your feet right where they are, plant them, be on purpose in the moment that you're in, and let the little actions along the way build up to your big intention? Because